Bam! It's time for a review. Alright, folks, here on the BAM Reviews channel, we're entering the Fallout. In the Fallout, the eradication of the zombies has taken place from Spooktober, and we're moving into a rebuilding phase. Now, unfortunately for Cobra here, they were trying to take over the town square, but that didn't work out so well because the Karn invaded. Alright folks, what we're going to be looking at today is I managed to pick up some Final Faction from a Dollar Tree near me, you know what I'm saying? So I actually purchased some of the figures. So I picked up Shift here, and we'll take a look at her, and I picked up Steel. Alright, I also have, this is a smorgasbord of Final Faction. I got some of these cyber arms, so I'm curious to see what figures I can put those on. And to close the deal, I picked up a Rumbler. Oh boy, this is a vehicle, folks. And it was already ripped, but it was the only one in the Dollar Tree, and I went into 4 Dollar Trees to try and get them. So I picked that up, and I picked up, this is like a poison. This is a poisonous edition. These are add-ons to this vehicle. So we're going to look at that. And as a little bonus, I picked up this guy from one of my used bookstores. He was like a doll hair, and he's like a gold edition of Final Faction. So, you know what? I figured we just throw him in too and see what we can get up to. Alright, before we rip these guys open, let's take a good look at the packaging. Now, the art here is kind of nice. I kind of like that. Now, you'll see this is a $125. They're increasing the price of Final Faction, folks. No longer a doll hair. $125. Not too shabby, though. Here's the rest of the figures in the line. See the Karn there, the Synthoids, the aliens. I'll go ahead and pause there so you can read this, so you can get a little bit of the background. And there's a cartoon, if you want to take a look at that. Scan that bad boy. Alright. Here is Shift's power ratings. This is really nice. Now, folks, keep in mind, this came out of a Dollar Tree, okay? Alright, so that's Shift. She's kind of cool. We'll rip her open in a second. Alright, here is Steel. He is a sergeant. Shift was a specialist. There you go. Alright. Same deal on the back. Same deal. You can look at his power ratings if you're interested in that kind of thing. Alright, man. I don't think there's anything per se on the vehicles. No power ratings or whatnot. So we're just... Oh, there actually is. So there's the power ratings of the vehicle. They thought of everything. So you go ahead and pause there. You can go ahead and read that. More about the story and the aliens invading. Alright, man. Oh, the weapons and armor actually has a little thing too. Look at this. Power ratings. This is really nice. Hey, Hasbro, man. Take a note out of this, brah. There's your cartoon. Final Faction, man. Alright. Let's go ahead. This is going to be a long one, so let's go ahead and rip these bad boys open. I'll be back with the unbox. Bam! Alright, here we go. Out of their plastic prison. Alright, in the middle we have Shift. She's a specialist. On the right we have Sergeant Steel. And on the left we actually have Sergeant Ruck. I looked him up, folks. He's a limited edition, part of the gold line. They're supposed to have gold accessories, but, you know, I didn't get them from, I got them from a used bookstore for $1. So, it is what it is. But to have him, it's kind of nice. I like it. I could use some of these other accessories and kit him out. He's pretty cool. These are your standard 5 POA. So, you know, the arms will move. The head will move. And the legs. But they have all these ports on here where you can port things in. So here's Sergeant Ruck. He's one of the limited edition figures. And, you know, these still command a little bit of a price. So finding it for a doll hair, Man, I'm not gonna complain. All right, here's Shift. She's kind of cool. You know, I would like to see a 6-inch line with some articulation, or even a 3 3/4 line of these figures. Just give me these ones. You know, work with Jazzwares or some company that's doing these kind of figures, and you know, get a deal going. I'll pay a little bit more for them. I like them. So there she is. That's her head sculpt. Keep in mind, folks, this was $1.25. Standard 5 POA. Fits nicely with G.I. Joe Modern Retro, etc. That's Shift. Alright, here's Steel. Steel is an airman here. He's got his backpack on. He can fly. Kind of cool, man. These look great as background characters. I mean, you look at the Super 7, the Reaction line, not the Reaction Plus, but the Reaction line. They have the same articulation. Cost $20. This guy was $125. All right, so there's the figures. I'm gonna go ahead and try and kit out old Ruck there. With we're gonna bust open these cyber arms. We're gonna see what Ruck looks like with this cyber arm attachment. So keep in mind, this is another $1.25, right? So Ruck would have been $125, and then this would have been another $125. All right, we'll be right back when he's all kitted out. And here you go. All right, man. Here's the cybernetic arms on old Ruck here. Man, tell me that's not cool. Check them out. Now, there's other ports on here, like there. And if you don't like the claw look, you can put in the other accessories that came with it. The backpack, the arms here. These junction pieces, right? I mean, this is some of the hardest plastic I've ever encountered. Like, I'm pretty sure that is supposed to seat all the way against that piece right there. But man, it is destroying my hands trying to get that on there. So it's just going to have to stay like that right now. I feel like that. See the whitening there? I feel like if I push that thing any further, it is 100% going to snap. And I don't want to do that per se. But he looks kind of cool like this. I mean, this isn't bad for a figure I bought for $1 at a used bookstore with no accessories. And then I just attach this on there. And, you know, if you don't like the claws, you can go with this. Just plug it into that port there, and you get yourself a chainsaw or an axe, power blade, various other things. Not too shabby. And this thing ports into backpack, so you can probably port it into the other figures too. Man, I tell you what, it's cool. So cool, I bought 2 of them. I'm going to keep that one for another figure for another time, though. All right, moving right along. All right, the last thing we're going to be looking at here is the Rumbler. Now, this is a vehicle from the Karn. So I'm going to go ahead and, you know, for sake of time, so I can let y'all folks go, I'm going to rip this open, and I'm going to rip open the pack as well. Be right back. All right, before I get too long, you know, far with the vehicles here, I just wanted to point out that it did come with instructions. So here's what you're looking at. Not too shabby. Some other companies could learn from this. All right, be right back. Let's take a look at this vehicle. I got it out of its plastic cardboard prison. Bam! And here it is, man. This thing is cool. I put the other figures. They're on a mission back there. They're trying to help with the Karn invasion that's going on right now. So you'll see them in the background. So here it is. It's pretty big. It rolls, kind of. The back wheel rolls really well. The other wheels don't roll that well. Got these big old wheels on the side. It was pretty easy to put together. The plastic here was not a problem like it was kind of with the backpack. It was very hard. You'll see there's some ports on here as well. It's got some nice detail. Figure just kind of sits inside of there. Let's see if we can show that off with this old robot here. Just kind of sits in there, rides it. Kind of cool. Let's see what else. This is another Final Faction figure, by the way. This is one of the robots that they have. Check out my BAM Reviews channel. This isn't my first Final Faction rodeo, folks. All right, let's see if old Tiger Force Duke. Let's see how he looks in this here vehicle. Man, look at that. That would look wicked. Look at this bad boy. All right, let's try this. They look better with the G.I. Joe figures. Let's try. This is one of the Karn aliens. Tell me that's not cool, folks. Cobra, la 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 la. Let's see what you look like, bro. Oh my god, it's like it was made for him. That's cool. All right, so that's what you're looking at. Looks great with G.I. Joe, with some G.I. Joe figures in there. That's how they sit. I mean, you might be able to put a G.I. Joe Classified in this bad boy. Let me see if I can find one. See what he looks like. Bam! And look at this. Look at the versatility of this Final Faction line. You can kind of use this as a chariot of sorts for your G.I. Joe Classified figures. I mean, you got to kind of bend his legs, and he's kind of hanging out the bottom, but, you know, maybe he's helping it move. Man, that looks pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of play features here. So I just wanted to show that off. Looks kind of nice. Little individual vehicles for some of your figures. That's really cool. All right, let's open this last pack here. This Poisonous Edition. Let's see what that looks like. Be right back. Bam! Look at this. The Poisonous version of the Rumbler. Man, the attachments are this massive claw. It came with instructions too, folks. So that's kind of cool. 2 claws on the front and this massive tail in the back. Now I had to take the old G.I. Joe Classified out of there. You can probably still fit them in there. But tell me that's not a sizable vehicle after that little modification. Man, you can't beat it. Let's go ahead and put old Cobra la 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 back in there. Look at that. Man, it was almost like it was made for him. Oh, you know what? Let's one up that. Let's put old I Was Once a Man Cobra Commander. Aliening out of his mind. Bam! There you go. Man, that's cool. You could fit multiple figures in there, I do believe. You could probably fit another guy on the side. You want to put some troopers in there with him? Man, the play options here are endless. All right, so this Final Faction stuff, man, is amazing. All right, we'll skip the size comparison here. I think you get the idea. This thing's massive. Like, if it fits a G.I. Joe Classified, it's great for 3.75-inch figures. It's great for 4-inch figures. In general, these Final Faction figures, they play well with your other lines as well. Let's go ahead and move into a rating. Let's do a rating for Final Faction. I'm not going to, like, narrow it down to one particular thing we looked at today. We looked at Sergeant Ruck, Sergeant Steel, Specialist Swift, can't remember her name, and we looked at the Rumbler, the Poisonous Rumbler. All right, I'm just go articulation, engineering, paint applications. Man, it's a thumbs up. There's no other way to say it. This stuff is amazing. For the price what you're paying, let's go right into affordability. I often say that this is the elephant in the room, but in this case, it's a thumbs up, man. The figures are $125 a piece. You buy a cool pack here. For upgrades, is another $125. You're in for $250 on a figure. I think the vehicles were $5. I can't remember exactly, but I mean, if they're cheaper than that, even $5 is good for this, right? So it's a thumbs up on affordability. All right, overall, the BAM Reviews channel, I'm a big fan of Final Faction. I like playing in the 4-inch world, and this stuff just kind of blends right in with that. It's a thumbs up overall. All right, that's about it for this one, folks. I'm going to end this one off with a nice little photo shoot so we can take a look at the figs, you know what I'm saying? This has been a BAM Review. My name is BAM. I review toys on YouTube. Go ahead and hit me with that like and subscribe. Take care of your boy, and I'll see you next time. Bam, out.